My first job at a college was as the entertainment editor of Teen Magazine, a slick national publication catering to preteen and early teenage girls. I wrote a lot of album and concert reviews for the college papers, so it wasn't too big of a leap into the probe world. 10 years earlier, while I was still in junior high, I was an avid subscriber to Teen. Once settled in the magazine Sunset Strip offices, I pinched myself, truly staggered that I was now part of those hallowed pages. Working at Teen turned out to be the absolute best job that a 22-year-old like me could have. So on top of a steady paycheck, travel, and interviewing the casts of Welcome Back, Kotter and Ada's Enough, I was invited or could request tickets to literally any show in town. I attended tons of A-list parties, award shows, and private events. I had an open tab at every club. I could interview almost anyone I wanted and flew out for tour dates with bands like Van Halen, Aerosmith, Leonard Skinner, the Osmonds. I mean, it was Teen after all. So when I was first hired by Teen, my name and my byline was Joanne Russo. But partway through my 3 years at the magazine, I started a punk band called Backstage Pass, and, well, thank you. And Teen was not thrilled. At my boss's insistence, I agreed to assume a second identity so as not to tarnish Teen's squeaky clean image. On the way to the band's first interview, we were on the Marina Del Rey freeway. And there and then, I looked up and I decided to take Marina Del Rey as my name. It just fit. So it felt like I had two lives, right? I was like Joanne during the day and Marina at night. And I would consciously juggle the roles. But being in the music scene, there was a near constant overlap between the artists that I was hanging with socially and those I covered for the magazine. The Jam and the Damned really come to mind, but those are other stories for another night. Inadvertently, though, I somehow blurred the lines when Scottish teeny bopper sensation, the Bay City Rollers, came into town. You remember them? I'm so excited. I got kind of swept up in their rabid Beatlemania-type fan hysteria that followed them everywhere. You know, like the tartan, the froofy hair. God, along with Queen and Kiss and Elton, Aerosmith, and the Stones, they were actually among the biggest bands in the world in 1976 and stayed there for several years after. So, working for Teen, I was invited to accompany the tartan-clad Rollers to a couple of fan events, a press conference, a TV appearance, and best of all, a VIP visit to Disneyland with a full-on security detail. No lines for us. We just got to go wherever we wanted and got to go up to the private restaurant. It was pretty cool. So hanging around the Rollers, I kind of clicked with the lead singer, Les McEwen, who one afternoon expressed, off the record, of course, his frustration and exhaustion with being a teen idol, feeling like he had become a fictional character. He was in LA and wanted no more than to smoke a joint, take off the tartan, put on normal clothes, and hit a few clubs. But their manager, Tam Patton, forbid it. forbid risking their ultra-innocent image. I related to Les questioning the cleaner-than-clean role he played. In a much smaller way, I was kind of doing the same thing at Teen Magazine, even using a different name to avoid polluting the magazine's wholesome image by playing in a punk band. So when Les asked if I could bring some pot to the Century Plaza Hotel where they were staying, I said, sure. He gave me the fake name he was registered under and notified hotel security to let me go up to their floor. Arriving at the hotel, hundreds of fans, mostly girls, swarmed the lobby. 2 of them had seen me with the Rollers entourage at a fan event and screamed as I raced through them to the elevator. It was so terrifying. My heart still pounding. I went up to Les in another bandmate's room, knocked and called out that it was me, and they let me in. I pulled out a couple of joints and gave them to Les. He lit one up, and I loved how in the moment I was breaking through the Bay City Roller fantasy. I had definitely stopped being Joanna Russo from Teen and was now acting as Marina Del Rey. I felt like such a deviant badass. All was fine until the phone rang and Les's roommate picked it up. It was manager Tim Patton, and he could hear Les and I laughing in the background. Moments later, he came busting into the room, smelling the pot smoke. He went ballistic. He probably thought I was going to write about getting high with a Bay City Roller in Teen Magazine. Like, right. Tam was livid. He screamed at me, told me I was corrupting his band, said he was going to call the police, get me fired, blacklisted from the music industry, all the firepower he could muster. I was nervous, but not too nervous. I mean, I was high after all. And the moment kind of seemed like soap opera overacting. Nonetheless, he was pretty threatening, and I hustled out of the room. By the light of the day, the next morning, I came up with a plan to preempt any call he might make to Teen. I knocked on my editor's office door, went in, and confessed that Les McEwen invited me to stop by his hotel room, that he offered me a hit of some pot he had, and that his manager came in and blamed me. Les was truly at fault. Still, she didn't appreciate me fraternizing with the people I interviewed, especially ones like the Rollers, with who the magazine needed to maintain a good relationship. She grimaced and let it go. Tam, the manager, never did call Teen, but a publicist who worked at the band's label, Arista Records, did. Half sincere, half mockingly, she insisted that in the future I resist subverting her artists, and I promised. And P.S., Tam Patton, the manager of supposedly the cleanest living boy next door band in Britain, was later found to have a deeply sordid past, was convicted as a sex offender and shipped off to prison. Thank you.